What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 8th day of September, and here we are with about an hour and a half left in the day, sitting at $2.98, just below $3 there. We almost hit $3 today, but just below it. a dollar, sorry, 298, hour 31 left in the day, up 3.6% as it is right now. I must admit that I was expecting that we'd come down a little bit by the end of this week. I was thinking this week would start off on a bad note and then end on a good note. But hey, well, looks like we might be doing it the exact opposite. I am still very much expecting that we will go below this low, and then sometime next week. Sometime this week we should find our low, and then sometime next week we should be recovering, moving higher, and going into the end of the month we should be breaking out to new all-time highs, if not well on our way there. Right, we should be around our all-time highs, if not well above our all-time highs by the end of this month. XRP, when it decides to move up, it does move up at a pretty fast pace. I'm not convinced that this is where we find support. I'm not convinced that this is is going to break us out and send us there yet. I think this is a bull trap, but time will tell. We'll see how it goes. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame. We'll zoom out from there and see if we can poke holes in my logic or validate it. We'll see. Okay, so looking at the 1 hour time frame again, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't. I don't know if I said it. Looking at the 1 hour time frame as far as price action goes, I have to admit I like the way this looks. I don't think it looks bad at all. Does look kind of like a bull flag right here. Overall, I would have thought that this was somewhat of a bearish look, but you had a flat top, ascending lows coming in, and you just didn't give back the price here, and you shot up. So you've got a little bit of a bull flag look here. Might you continue higher? I think you might. If we're looking at this from a low to a high, you put this at the base right there. That puts you at about $3.08. You're at $2.98 now. So something around this prior area of resistance, yeah, you might see that. It's very possible just based on the price action. That kind of looks like you want to continue. This, to me, is not conducive for downside price action, right? That's not my opinion, but anything can happen. Looking at the 1 hour RSI, I spoke a little too soon, didn't I? A little bit of bearish divergence there. I don't know if it is bearish divergence technically, but you do have a high here and a lower high here, higher high. I mean, it could be construed that way. You do have higher highs here, in all fairness. Bearish divergence in the stochastics. And the stochastics are very bullish, though, at the same time. The MACD also looks pretty good, but you got like a double top. You're at the same point in the histogram where you typically do find resistance, and you just cross red. But you crossed red before over here, and you still continue to move up. I don't know. The price action does look good, but if I'm being honest, these indicators have me second guessing it a little bit. I would think that you are getting ready to move down. Maybe you have a little bit of a pop up. You break above $3. That gets people excited. You break above that psychological resistance of $3. You hit $3.03, $3.06, whatever, and then you move down $3.01, whatever, and then you move down. We'll go over what the maximum could be before we invalidate the idea of going lower. If we move up to a certain price, that will invalidate going lower. It will validate the fact that this is the low. We'll see. But looking at this so far, if I'm being honest, just looking at these indicators, while overall I'm impressed with the RSI and the stochastics have been very tenacious, even the MACD as well, they all kind of look like they're at a topping point. I want to look at this from a fib perspective real quick. Hold on. I'm going to take this high to low. I feel like this is the most appropriate fib to take. If not this one, then there's another one. But right at the 1618, that's good consolidation though. But this is an area that you like to find resistance at. But it is good consolidation. Come on. That's a nice look. I mean, no matter what fib we're looking at, it's a good look on the price. The indicators are saying one thing, the price action's saying another thing. So we'll have to zoom out. Maybe not the 1 hour, but the 4 hour will be a little bit more reliable. 4 hour time frame here. I like the MACD. I do like the MACD. Yeah, it's cooling off a little bit, but that's okay. I like the RSI as well, and I like the stochastics. All of that looks good. Again, I'm not too impressed by the price action yet because we do have lower highs throughout this whole range, but let's just see. Let's take, what do we want to do? Do I want to do that high to low? I guess it's all we have. We're going to take that. Let's do that. High to low here. High, oh, almost right there. High to low. Yeah, I think you do persist a little higher. 298 now. You probably go to like $3.04, maybe just above there. I doubt you get above $3.10, or if you do, it'll be like just barely above there. But $3.04, $3.10, something like that. Find some resistance there, maybe to start off tomorrow, the 9th, and then tomorrow should be a red day. And going into the rest of this week, I think that we will move lower. We probably will see that lower price down to about 260, right? That's the ultimate target destination that we're looking for. I mean, if we take this low here to this high right here, Look at that 0.5s right there, right overlaying that 382 as well. You might find resistance right at 304. 257 is that next target. 239 at the lowest. I doubt you get down to 239, but I could really see us getting down to around like 260, 250, somewhere in that zone, okay? If we're also looking at this fib as it stands, you know, from a low to a high right here, you do have the 0.5 right in this area as well. So something a little bit below this low is what I'm still holding out for. I could be wrong, and understand, I've said this a few times over the past week about a lot of the coins that we're calling for lower prices. It's very possible that we have found the lows. I'm not convinced. I want to see more before it is convincing me, and I just haven't seen it yet. If we were to validate that that is the low, what it would take, in my opinion, we get a high to low here. Let's just see. Hold on. Come on now. High to get the low. Come on. There we go. High to low. I'd want to see prices that are I don't know. 316 might get me excited, but probably above 330, 327, somewhere in that zone, that would really be what gets me excited, I guess. 316 might get me excited, but 327 ultimately. That would be the nail in the coffin for any kind of bearish hopium. Yeah. Which is not really fair, right? Because then at that point it's pretty obvious that we're going to new all-time highs already, but that's just what it takes, right? We've had some fake out moments, bull trap moments throughout this, so I want to be very sure before we start getting too excited, right? We do have that FOMC meeting coming up on the 16th and the 17th. I do expect us to be dropping into that meeting because I expect that the overall result is going to be positive, right? So I think that rate cuts are going to be a positive thing. So I think we'll sell into them. It'll be like a sell the hype, buy the news event instead of a buy the hype, sell the news event, if that makes any sense. I don't know. But overall, looking at the 4 hour, yeah, I mean, it looks good. It all looks good here. A little bit higher makes sense to me. $3.04, $3.10, and then maybe you come down. Daily time frame here. We are still in this kind of lower high detail, right? This lower high trajectory. We do have a flat base here. That's not really conducive for productive price action. But we've had these kind of looks before, and XRP has still come out on top, so I'm not really too worried about it. Also, bearish patterns and bullish trends, which you are in a bullish trend overall, right? You've got higher lows, you've got higher highs. Bearish patterns and bullish trends don't perform as well, so I'm not too worried about it. But if we see some kind of fake out to the downside, and then we come back up, I could see that happening, man. And it might not even it might look like a fake out if you look at this in the context as a bearish descending triangle, but maybe it's just a bear flag where you have lower highs and lower lows. You kind of do a partial decline is what that's called, where you reach for that trend line but you just don't hit it. I'm drawing the trend line very poorly, but something like that, you know, something in that kind of parallel channel there. I could see us going down to about that'd be about 360 right there. So looking at the daily MACD, we are crossing green. This is the first green pip that you've had in a while. You have been pretty red for a long time. You are overdue to get some green, in all fairness. The RSI has been very resilient. The one thing that I have a conniption with here, the little flag, I guess, in my head, is that you've been interacting with the zone a lot and you haven't really had any positive reactions, but you're getting a pretty positive reaction here. I don't know. You found a lot of support in this area, and overall, dating back to this, I mean, you just kind of had higher lows. Just here, you know, you bounced. Here you dilly-dallied a little bit, but you bounced, and then you bounced, and then you bounced, and then here it's just you kind of consolidated. But you are bouncing now. I don't know. Time will tell. I doubt that you come back down by the end of today. I mean, we still do have an hour and a half left. Let's see how the day goes, but it's very possible that I'm wrong, you guys. I mean, I could be wrong. This could be the low. It's very, very possible, right? And that would be a pretty perfect low because you are just below this low here. It's like a fake out. You're finding support just above this resistance. It would look nicer if you found support there, but it doesn't have to be perfect just because I'm saying that, right? We take this relative low here to this relative high. I would just like to see it come down a little bit more, man. 265 at least, if not 255 at the most. I doubt we go below that, but I don't really have anything else that I want to say. Obviously, I believe that we have higher prices to go with XRP. I think that we're going to see dramatically higher prices here in a very short amount of time. You know, this move here was not a one-off by any means. I believe that you're going to see a move very, very similar to this over the coming weeks, by the end of October, maybe even stretching into November. Certainly by the end of the year, I would expect that XRP is well above $10, $11, $13 to $17 is the price target that we have in mind. And then going into the end of going into the beginning of 2026, you should be reaching for even higher prices than that. I think that this thing has serious potential to see prices that are well above $40 by the end of the cycle, if not even as high as $70 by the end of the cycle. This is probably some of the last chances that you'll have to buy XRP below $3, not just this cycle, but your whole damn life. Yes, your whole life. Things are going to shape up for the better here over the coming weeks and coming months. I think we have one last little drawback to the downside. I know it's hard to say. We're kind of looking bearish death in the face here. It looks like we're moving up. Maybe I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, that's okay, but I'm sticking with the idea that we move down a little bit. We'll invalidate that if we get above $3.16, okay, on a daily closing basis, 2 days in a row. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves. Bye.